Trump just said Canada lives because of the United States. And instead of apologizing, instead of smiling politely, instead of doing the usual Ottawa dance, Mark Carney did not even blink. Because when a US president says your country only exists thanks to him, that's not trash talk. That's a status test. And what Canada just did in response tells you a lot about where this relationship is heading and how much pressure is coming next. Stick with me because the part nobody noticed is the part Washington actually cares about.
They should be grateful also, but they're not. I watched your prime minister yesterday. He wasn't so grateful. But they should be grateful to us. Canada lives because of the United States. Remember that, Mark, the next time you make your statements.
But Canada doesn't live because of the United States. Canada thrives because we are Canadian. Now, Canada can't solve all the world's problems, but we can show that another way is possible, that the arc of history isn't destined to be warped towards authoritarianism and exclusion. It can still bend towards progress and justice.
This did not happen on Twitter. It did not happen at a rally. It happened at the World Economic Forum. Davos is where governments do not posture. They signal. CEOs, central bankers, defense ministers, intelligence chiefs. Everyone there is listening for alignment shifts. So when Mark Carney stood up and warned about great powers coercing smaller countries, without naming names, every serious person in that room knew exactly who he meant. So here is the mistake analysts keep making. They think Trump reacted because he was offended. No, Trump reacted because of hierarchy. In Trump's worldview, allies do not cooperate. They owe. And gratitude is leverage. So when Carney did not flatter, did not thank, did not kneel, Trump heard a challenge to status. And that's why he fired back. Canada lives because of the United States. That sentence was not about trade. It was not about defense. It was about who is on top. When Trump says things like this, people rush to ask, is this serious or just Trump being Trump? Wrong question. The right question is, why say it here, now, and publicly? Answer, leverage conditioning. He's setting the tone before negotiations start. And those negotiations are coming. Now, here is where Canada surprised people. Carney did not escalate. He did not insult. He did not even raise his voice. He said, Canada does not live because of the United States. Canada thrives because we are Canadians. That's not a clapback. That's a sovereignty statement, delivered calmly on the world stage. Then he added the line diplomats caught immediately. We are masters in our home. That sentence is doing a lot of work. In diplomatic English, it means we cooperate, but we do not submit. That line was not for Davos. It was for Washington. Because the United States does not actually fear loud nationalism from Canada. What it dislikes is quiet independence. Loud defiance is easy to dismiss. Calm independence forces recalculation. Okay, let me translate this out of think tank's language. If your boss says, you only have this job because of me, and you calmly reply, actually, I bring value on my own. And his response is to uninvite you from the staff party? That's not authority. That's a guy realizing he does not control you anymore. Then Trump did something revealing. He publicly revoked Carney's invitation to his so-called Board of Peace. Sounds dramatic until you slow it down. 3 key facts. Carney had already left Davos. Canada did not ask to join. Trump posted it for the cameras. This was not punishment. This was a status reassertion attempt after Trump lost control of the narrative. Strong leaders do not do that. Then came the altered maps, the 51st state talk, the annexation jokes. That's not humor. That's psychological pressure. Trump does this before bargaining. Destabilize the other side. Lower perceived sovereignty. Demand gratitude. Extract concessions. And the next bargaining table is obvious. So, all this is happening before the USMCA mandatory review, missile defense discussions, energy and critical minerals talks, Arctic security coordination. Carney is not reacting late. He is setting the frame early. He is saying, do not assume compliance. That matters before the pressure starts. Look, who complained loudly? Trump, US commerce officials. And look who quietly applauded. US governors, American political insiders, Davos attendees circulating Carney's speech privately. When American leaders start sharing Canadian Prime Minister's speech inside the US, that means it landed inside their own political cracks. Here is the part Washington never says out loud. NORAD does not function without Canada. US energy stability depends on Canadian supply. Arctic access requires Ottawa. USMCA massively benefits US exporters. Canada is not freeloading. Canada is a keystone partner. And keystones have leverage, especially when they stop acting apologetic. Yes, Carney talked about democracy. Yes, he talked about pluralism. But that's not the real fight. The real fight is who sets the terms in the next round of North American power politics. And Canada just said, we are not showing up, already indebted. So let's talk about what we know and what we don't. What we know first. Carney deliberately asserted sovereignty at Davos. Trump saw it as defiance. Trump publicly overreacted. Canada remains protected under USMCA for now. And here is what we don't know. How aggressive Trump will be in the USMCA review. Whether missile defense becomes leverage. How far Canada will diversify supply chains away from the US. Anyone claiming certainty is really guessing at this time. So, this is not about speeches. This affects trade terms, job security, energy prices, defense posture. Because when negotiations start from a place of subordination, you lose before talks begin. Canada just refused that starting position. This was not a fight. This was a boundary being drawn. Trump barked. Canada did not flinch. And in geopolitics, the country that does not flinch usually is not the weak one. Before you go, if this kind of fact-based, no-nonsense analysis matters to you, hit like so it reaches more people. And subscribe if you want to keep following Canada's role in the world. And if you want to help me stay independent from corporate or institutional pressure, you can buy me a coffee. Totally optional. But it helps keep this work viewer supported and honest. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.